and welcome to another episode of It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and as always, I'm joined by the Director of Athletics for Troy University, and that's John Hartwell. And John, we had an exciting weekend of action, soccer, volleyball, and of course the football game. And once again, not quite the outcome we hoped for, but a great atmosphere for the game.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and a good crowd. I won't say a great crowd, but certainly some threatening skies may have played a part in that. But a tremendous atmosphere. Our students were tremendous. Came out in force, stayed throughout the game. Got off to a really good start, building a 14-3 lead, and certainly Duke is a very talented team who will contend for the ACC championship this year. And we just couldn't hold it. But a lot of positives come out of the game itself. Certainly Brandon Silvers and his ability to run the offense showed some signs. And we had some stops defensively. I know we gave up 34 points, but certainly, again, Duke, one of the better offenses in the country. And then the game day atmosphere itself, I thought Trojan Walk, while a little bit wet, was very nice and very well attended, and certainly the new video boards, we got tremendous feedback from that, and a good crowd, and something to build on, and certainly the opportunity to stay at home this week and play Saturday evening against Abilene Christian, who is a good football team. A lot of people say, well, Abilene Christian, we've never played them before, and they're an FCS team, we should cruise by them. But they're a talented team, actually in their first year as an FCS team. They play in the Southland Conference, which is a very good football conference. And I got an opportunity to watch them a couple of weeks ago. They opened a couple of weeks ago on ESPN against Georgia State. Georgia State had to kick a field goal with 7 seconds left to win the game 37-35, I believe. So they'll be a talented team and coming in here, and we've got to play well. But, I saw a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2 and a lot of things that we can build on. And I know people say, well, gosh, we're 0-2, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, which, certainly 0-2 is not where Coach Blakeney or his staff or our players want to be or I want to be. But at the same time, we've got a lot of football left, 10 games. Certainly, an early peak, our league looks wide open. Everyone thought Lafayette was going to be the dominant team, and they ran into a buzzsaw in Lafayette against Louisiana Tech. I think it was 48-17 they lost, and they scored with no time left to keep it from being 48-10. So wide open league, and certainly we just got to work at getting better every day in practice. And for the fans out there, certainly encourage folks to continue coming out. Again, a good crowd Saturday night, and the advanced forecast for this coming weekend: low 80s, low humidity, sunshine, no chance of rain. If I can knock on some wood somewhere here. And, look forward to having a tremendous day, band day. So we'll have a lot of the area and region high school bands out. Certainly the Sound of the South. And, hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the job they did the other night. As always, a tremendous component to our game day atmosphere. And Mark Walker and the Sound of the South are outstanding.
Yeah, it was a great game, and as you said, I was going to mention the forecast for this weekend looks a lot better than it did for the UAB game. The low humidity, it was hot, and it was very sticky out there last weekend, but hopefully for this Abilene Christian game, it'll be much better, and that will definitely encourage the fans to get out there.
Absolutely, and make it a lot easier to tailgate, too, without sweating. I know I was back and forth in a lot of areas and a lot of events Saturday, both pregame and during the game, and I was wringing wet. I think I looked like I probably had played, so I'll welcome the cooler temperatures and lower humidity.
Well, let's talk about some of our other sports. Soccer team, they're on a roll right now, 4 in a row, 4 straight shutouts, and then they'll be at home again this weekend for 2 more games. Yeah,
tremendous start by Coach Jason Hamilton and the young ladies on that team, and again, they started off the season on a Louisiana swing, lost at LSU and then lost a tough one at Louisiana Tech, but played well in both of those games, and they come back home, win 3 in a row. And then this past Friday, they go on the road to Gardner-Webb and win there 1-0. Like you said, 4 straight wins, ties a Troy record for the most consecutive soccer wins. 4 straight shutouts, tremendous job, and get the opportunity to come home this weekend against 2 in-state opponents. Friday night or Friday afternoon, Jacksonville State, and then on Sunday against UAB. So I certainly encourage, folks to come out to support that team. If you're here coming into town for the weekend for the football game, come out Friday and watch soccer, and then stay over Sunday to watch us as well. But a tremendous start again for Coach Hamilton and his teams.
And the same thing could be said for the volleyball team and Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick. They won the Trojan Invitational after a few exciting matches, but they've run their record to 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1, a great start for them. They played a night in Montgomery against Alabama State before going on this weekend to Auburn to play in their invitational, where they'll play Auburn, South Florida, and
Winthrop.
Yeah, Winthrop. 7-1 start, and again, a great start for them this fall as well.
And then women's golf is currently in action. They're down at Texas A&M. What do you know about that one?
Yeah, they're playing at Bryan, Texas. In Texas A&M's tournament. Yesterday was the first round. Didn't have a great day yesterday, I think, staying 9 out of 13 teams, but currently in action right now in the second round, and they'll complete that tomorrow. And then our men's golf team starts their fall schedule this coming weekend as well at Kiowa Island, South Carolina. Gets some, top 25 ranked schools in that event. So, we're off and running this fall.
And I think the cross-country team is also in action. They're back down in Mobile. They took a weekend off, and they'll be back in Mobile for their second meet down at the campus of South Alabama.
Yeah, that's correct. Like you said, they were there about 10 days ago. I think that meet was out at the fairgrounds in Mobile. This one at South Alabama. They're coming off a third-place finish both on the men's and women's side early, and our track program, again, with a whole new coaching staff doing a terrific job.
And I believe we just announced a new hire for our throwers program that was just announced recently.
Yes, you're exactly right. And it's Coach Mark Davis's, now his wife. They actually got married about 3 weeks ago, but Michelle comes to us from Dartmouth, and she had previously coached at Duke as well as East Carolina, and she actually was an All-American hammer thrower at East Carolina, and also a certified strength and conditioning coach. So she is a tremendous addition to our staff.
All right, John. Well, a lot of exciting things going on, a lot of things to do this weekend at home with football and soccer, so a lot of things for fans to see.
Absolutely, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time as we take our first look at our fall sports, and we're going to take a look at the cross-country program with Coach Elliott Blount. And Coach, your team had an off weekend this weekend. What did y'all do to kind of recover, to rest?
Cross-country, you usually get like a week or two down in between your races, so it's an opportunity to get some really good training in. The top runners aren't going to compete this weekend. We're going to take another week off and get some more training in, actually, and go down to the Mountain Dew Classic out in Gainesville.
Okay.
So this week is for, more so for the kids that need an opportunity to show that they can compete.
And what kind of preparations are you making? Are they doing longer runs, shorter things? What are they doing?
We ramped up the intensity quite a bit. We're kind of in our second cycle of training, and we definitely increased the intensity a little bit. The volume's still there, paces dropped just slightly. And, it allows us to really kind of, test ourselves and recover. We can put a good effort in and then kind of back off a little bit before our next competition.
So you're holding off some of your better runners and hoping to see maybe some of the younger guys step up and they'll be in that top class, right?
Exactly. That's what we're hoping for. That's the plan. Julia, she's a game time decision. She's one of our top runners, and she'll open up. I want to get her, her legs turning a little bit before, we get too deep into the season. But she'll open up this weekend. But we have some young runners that, kind of have to, step up. We need some depth in there.
Now, you're going back down to Mobile. We talked a little bit about this last week, but just give us a preview of the race.
We're hoping, the competition is going to allow us to kind of mix it up a little bit better than we did in the first meet, with the teams that are competing there. So it's probably our best chance on paper to do well, though we're sitting out, our top runners. So the course is a little bit more challenging. It's not as flat as the USS Alabama course. So it'll be a good test, character and just competitiveness for the group.
And what's the length of the races?
We're actually going to go 8K.
Okay.
You know, the first week was 6K and 4K, but 8K and 6K
Okay.
for the women. So it's a little bit longer, but I think they're up for the challenge. They've been training pretty well, mentally preparing a little bit better this week. I think it's going to be the difference maker.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and hopefully get some good results for next week.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and now we're going to talk a little bit of soccer action with the head coach of the soccer team. That's Jason Hamilton. And Jason, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And your team's on a roll right now. You just came back from facing Gardner Webb, where you had your 4th straight shutout, your 4th straight win, 1-0 over Gardner Webb. What was the victory like up there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good test for the team. You know, we look at it as the non-conference games are just preparing us for the conference game. So to go on the road, you know, win a game that we thought we were going to win all along, but it was a good test of character to win in, I think, the 85th minute. Is when we scored the goal. So you know, those are challenges, you know, part of the season on the road. You know, letting the team be in the game that long at any time something could happen. So it was definitely a good test of character for our group, and hopefully that shows down the road when we're on the road in conference and we have a tight game that we have to squeeze out at the end.
Well, was it also a good prep? You talk about being on the road, but you've taken 2 pretty good road trips, the ones to Louisiana and then now to North Carolina. Have those kind of helped prepare you for the conference road trips that you may have to take that'll be even longer?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got a couple of trips that are going to be some long ones. We have App State and Texas State on the same weekend.
Wow.
So that one's going to be obviously a tough weekend for us. And then I think we have the Louisiana schools as well. So those are tough trips. You know, so it's good to get those in early in the season so they can kind of get that routine down of what we're going to be like on the road.
Well, just talk about the play of your defense right now. As I said, 4 straight shutouts. So they're doing something right. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, as a coaching staff, we can't complain at all back there. They haven't really made any mistakes. I think early on in the first couple of games, you know, the other teams didn't create many chances. We gave them opportunities. So we know if we limit our mistakes that we're not going to give the other team a lot of opportunities just in the style that we play. Right. You know, we've gotten, I think in the last few games, you know, our both center backs, Peyton in Georgia and Paige, have not come out of the game. So they've given us some really good minutes. And then Mallory, the only reason she's not playing in the back line is if we move her into more of an attacking position to help us offensively. So, you know, those guys have given us a ton of minutes and just, you know, been consistent. So that's great.
Now you got a chance to stretch your streak, and it's now a school record or tying a school record. So now you could break the school record as you take on Jacksonville State here on Friday, then UAB on Sunday. Talk about the Jacksonville State game first.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. This weekend, we look at it as a very important weekend. You know, we set goals as a team at the beginning of the season, and anytime we play an in-state opponent, we think is an important game. Right. You know, for the recruiting side of things, and just kind of getting the name out there a little bit. So, right. You know, they're a tough team. We've seen them before. We saw them in the spring when I was here, and then obviously they played them last season. So, you know, back and forth games. Good team. I think they kind of have a similar style of play that we do. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those games. We're at home. We need to take advantage of being at home and come out early and kind of be the aggressors in the game.
And then what about UAB?
Again, very good team. You know, last year I think that might have been our worst loss of the year. So, you know, they always put a good group out on the field. They're coming off a long road stretch. I think they're, you know, 4 or 5 games in a row and some good opponents, Duke, Illinois, and Alabama. So, you know, they've had a rough stretch here. They're going to be, you know, I think they're probably looking at that schedule and saying, hey, here's our opportunity to try and get one. So we just have to be prepared to defend, you know, our home turf and kind of hopefully go out and change the standard that was there last year. Right,
and you got both games at home, as you said. Any words of encouragement to get the home fans out there?
Yeah, just come out and support us. Hopefully we can help break a new school record, and we'd love to have people out there on Friday at 4 o'clock against Jacksonville State, and then Sunday's going to be 1 o'clock against UAB. All
right, well, good luck, and hopefully we'll be talking about 2 W's next weekend.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to our final look of Troy sports as we're going to take a look at the volleyball team, another team that's been on a roll as of late. And we're joined by the head coach of the volleyball team, and that's Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick. And Coach, another good weekend at the Trojan Invitational. Y'all finished the weekend undefeated, so you've got to be happy about that one.
Very much so. The girls have put in the work. The mentality and the mental aspect that we've been working on all preseason is definitely getting better. And we had one match that we had a chance to get a couple girls that have never played in. So anytime you have a chance to get some kids experience, it's a good time.
Now, you had a couple of close ones, and being at home, do you think that home court advantage with those fans behind you, do you think that helped at all?
It's always great to play in front of our fans. They were phenomenal all weekend. Couldn't be more excited about the product that we put out there both Friday and Saturday. And we had a good crowd Friday, actually a bigger crowd on Saturday. So, I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday.
Right.
It was our untypical week of tournament. But, you know, it's always good to be able to pull out a win like that. Being up 2-0, you never want to go to 5.
Right.
But we did. It shows the character of our team. And we always say that adversity shows character, it doesn't build character. And the way we responded in Game 5 was a lot of fun to see, and definitely a good win in front of the home folks.
Now, you take on Alabama State this week. It's just a short drive up the road. You're playing in Montgomery. What do you know about the in-state rival?
They won their conference and went to the NCAA tournament last year, something that we're aspiring to do.
Right.
So, you know, anytime you can go on the road and get a win, whether it's Montgomery or to, you know, Texas or wherever you're going, a road win is a road win, and it builds the confidence of your team.
Well, then heading just right up a little further up the road as you head to Auburn over the weekend for the Auburn tournament, facing Auburn, South Florida, and then Winthrop. It's going to be a tough test for you, but I mean a good test to kind of really see where your team is at.
Very much so. We've never beaten an SEC team in competition season, so we have a chance to do that on Friday.
Right.
We've never faced South Florida, but they are a really good team. They played 2 top 15 teams the first weekend of the season. So we're going to have to play well just to get through Friday night into Saturday. And then Winthrop is usually a really good team in their conference as well.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck on the week.
Thank you very much.
All right, and then join us again next week for more of It's Tea Time.